Hello and welcome to another edition of the McGraw Report. I'm Harry McGraw, your host, and this is our Dreamers edition of the McGraw Report. I'm going to try to do an introduction in Spanish, so bear with me. Bienvenido al Informe McGraw Report. Soy Harry McGraw, tu anfitriona, y hoy es una edición especial de Sonadores. Okay, this is our Dreamers edition of the McGraw Report. And I'm going to have my buddy, Juan Calahoranno, check in. Okay, I want to talk to him a little bit. He's with the Hacia group. Let me see if I can get him in there. Hey, Juan, where you at, man? You see me? This is my man Juan trying to check in. What's up? You muting, unmute yourself, man. You got me on mute. What's up, Juan?
What's been going with you?
There he is. There's my man. Let me introduce you. This is Juan Calahoranno, my man.
Perfect.
My friend for many years on the McGraw.
Perfect.
He's usually in the studio with me, but
you know, the last time I think I went by your studios, I was really impressed with the setup and everything, so it was really nice. It's been a while, though.
It's been a while. We're going to get back there, man. As soon as this pandemic is over with, man, you know I'm going to have you back, man. How you doing?
Yeah, and I think it's going to take probably, what, you think another 6 months until everything normality, whatever normal that is?
I don't know, man. Well, you know, the vaccine is in town, so I don't know. That's a good sign. Maybe they'll start distributing it real soon, and hopefully we'll get back to normal a little bit, man. How's your family? How you been?
Good. Everybody's good. Family's good. I mean, to me, like I was talking to somebody the other day, it hasn't been too much of a drastic change because I'm still working. Kids are working and family's doing well. You know, no major issues. So I know other people have been hit really hard for because of COVID.
Yeah, it has been a crazy 2020. So, you know, I'm looking for 2021 to be a much better year.
Yeah. This year is almost gone anyways. We're almost done with it. So.
Right. So we might as well chalk 2020 up, man. Let's throw it in the garbage. You know what I'm saying? This is a wrap. Let's just throw it in the garbage. We're going into 2021 now. Fresh start.
It'll be for the memories. Hopefully most of the memories are good.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just glad you and I survived it. That's all.
You know what? The other thing is that you know, I felt kind of bad when I was thinking this way, but I was kind of, when all of this started happening and we were asked to stay home, I was kind of getting excited. And I was thinking bad, you know, why am I getting excited for? But I was thinking getting excited of the opportunity for us to do other things like this, right?
Right.
We're doing Zoom a lot. We're learning how to do. We're just drawn into that. And, you know, I think we'll be doing well. We're still adapting in some capacity. And I think there's people get creative when things like that happen, when times like that happen. They get creative, the entrepreneurial mind, and people got to survive. They got to eat. They got to feed their families, and you know, other things happen.
Yeah, it's really a crazy dynamic to be put under that kind of pressure where you have to create, you know, but it's good too because it really stimulates that creativity and people come up with new and exciting ways to do things. So you're right, Juan. It is a kind of exciting time. I don't think we'll be going back to the way things were for maybe ever. You know, things may have changed permanently. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, you know, it's a great opportunity because I know when I've been doing this show, it's given me a chance to catch up with people in different states and different countries, you know, and I could do it right from home. So it's really a great opportunity to expand the show. So I'm really excited about it. I'm so glad that you're here, man. I'm glad that you had time to join me because, you know, I'm excited about the future of this country now. You know, I think, you know, Black and brown people really stepped their game up. We got rid of that other administration and we moving forward, man. We're not going back. We trying to save this country and trying to save democracy. And I think, you know, last election really showed how serious we are about that. And
Yeah,
so,
and I think I mean we kind of get back to normal things, right? I mean, I know politics can be crazy, politics can be dirty, and you know, growing up, I never want to get involved with that. I'm not involved with that in politics, but I mean, I learned to understand it. You know,
yeah,
understand the policies, the things that come into play, and actually how important that is for our lives.
it is.
You
It
know,
is.
and then I think we need somebody in office that really understand. I know there's the process. I know there's a lot of issues, especially here in Illinois, with a lot of politicians getting in trouble, you know, doing things that they were not supposed to be doing. You know, but like I said, to me, growing up, I was thinking policies was dirty, and you know, they didn't want to get involved with that. And I did a program with UNO, the United Neighborhood Organization, and kind of opened up my mind to at least respect the process.
Yeah,
Really understanding and really understand what that means to our lives, you know. And you got
yeah,
a group of people that we elect and are put into office, and they're in charge of creating policy that affect us positive, negatively, maybe short term, long term. And you know, we gotta really understand it. We gotta really understand and exercise our rights that we have as citizens of this country, and be able to put people in place that were actually they may not do anything we want them to do or anything that we think is favorable to us, but at least do something that'll benefit the masses, right?
right.
We got people on one end that are you know, the one percenters that are doing millions and millions of dollars,
Doing
gaining
great.
good times, bad times, and we got the majority, you know, that are not doing too well, and that's been going on and on. And you know, to me, it seems that we're putting a band-aid to things instead of finding a cure. You know, so
Exactly. Exactly. And we have a real shot at changing things now because I think that last administration showed how you can use power to make change rather quickly if you really had a will, you know, to do
yeah,
it, you know. And so I'm looking at this whole dynamic now with the Dreamers and with DACA, and now this is a big deal to go into this administration now because we got some people that may shine a favorable light on that for a change,
yeah.
you know?
You know, is I came to this country when I was going to be 13 years old. You know, I was in seventh grade, or in my country, like first grade of secondary education, or we call high school, we call it college over there. Uh, but you know, I came to this country. My dad was already here. I had family here, and then my mother said, "Hey, you being a teenager, you meet your father." So
Right.
we're going to the United States, and we didn't came there. I came to Mexico. You know, I actually crossed the border at 12,
Right.
13 years old. Came to this country, and my thought it was, okay, this is going to be like the Brady Bunch. You know, because it was the Brady Bunch. I was thinking the home's like the Brady Bunch, and I
Right.
came, and, you know, I was lost. I didn't know the language, and I started elementary school. There was probably like only 4 or 5 Hispanic kids,
Yeah.
and I just had to try to adapt and learn quickly. And I left everything behind. You know, we had our family. My goal was to either become an architect or become a soccer player. You know, but I got pushed to the side, and that started a new life. And I think about it, say, yeah, I didn't ask to be here. You know, my family came here for a better opportunity. It was kind of hard for us. The way we came, we couldn't just came the kind of the legal or regular way,
Right.
unfortunately, because, you know, it's not that easy. No matter how people tell you, it's not that easy.
No. I was looking at some of the language for DACA. You know, remember when Obama was in office? He the one who signed that into law. That was
Yes,
back in what 2012. You know, but
2012, that's
it
correct.
didn't really give a path to citizenship. It just kind of, you know, had some protections for people that was I don't know, kind of like a child when they came here, you know, kind of like the same situation when you came, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And I think, and I remember I'm being the oldest. You know, I remember I was more aware of certain things, and I was thinking about my younger sister, who was 3 years old when she came. But a lot of times we went places I already know about immigration, and you're afraid. You're afraid that you might get a stop and they'll ask you for your papers, and if you don't have them, they'll take you in. Or
Yeah,
they'll take you
yeah,
embarrassed, because you hear that happen a lot. So what I was thinking when you mentioned about the new hope for the dreamers, they were maybe in that situation until 2012, and then the light came on and said, okay, we might have an opportunity to be here.
right.
So that lasted, and then the renewal happened in 2014. They were to renew in 2016 when the new administration came in. They actually want to get rid of it.
Yeah,
Well, they
yeah,
offered hope, but they said they didn't do anything, and they actually took it to court. And
yes,
fortunately,
it
the
is.
court ruled in the Dreamers' favor. But now, when you talk about the new administration coming in, you can see maybe the hope of these individuals. You know
Yeah,
that the hope is the light is on again. The light at the end of the tunnel is out there again. So for them, yeah, there's a lot of hope. They see the administration maybe giving a path to citizenship. We talk about a path to citizenship. It's not that easy. It has become harder as the years go by. I
yeah,
think in the 1960s, people came in, they apply, and sure, not a problem. You know, you become a resident, and maybe within a year you can become a citizen. The citizen
right.
is changing a little bit, and we really didn't have that path. You know, my uncle was a citizen already, and he could have claimed us, but you know, for whatever reason, didn't happen, and we waited actually until the Reagan administration came out with that law. I can't remember what it was called, but in 1987, and I was able to apply. Otherwise, my other vehicle would have been marry
Right,
a U.S. citizen. And
right,
I didn't just want to get married for the sake of getting married. I wanted to get married because I found somebody and I love somebody. You know, she
right.
was, but yeah, so that
That's a that's a big change. I tell you, it really is. And you know, I'm just so happy because you know we're finally moving in the direction I think we should. And when it comes to immigration, you know, I think we have a whole lot of improvements that we can make. I just
sure.
want to make sure people know this is a special Dreamers edition of the McGraw Report. I'm Harry McGraw, your host. I have my good friend Juan Calahoranno on the show with me, giving me his insights. You know, just a great person all the way around. One of my construction buddies in the business. You know, been around a long time doing it and been helping a lot of Black and brown people stay in business. And that's another thing too, Juan. I was thinking, like, once this Dreamers package actually gets approved. You know, Dick Durbin put it together back in 2001.
That's correct.
He's the U.S. Senator from Illinois, along with, what's his name, Hatch from, I think that's Utah. They co-sponsored that bill. Yeah, Orrin Hatch. And so these guys been trying so hard to get this thing passed. They keep pushing it. They keep pushing it. And I just feel like this time with Alejandro Mayorkas, I think this is the new guy that they're putting in the Homeland Security spot. We might be able to do it, man. This might be a big, I mean, he's the first Hispanic to hold a spot like that, Secretary of Homeland Security.
Yeah, there's not too many of us that have been in that position like that. And kind of getting back, right? I mean, a lot of these kids, I mean, they have gone through a vetting process, right? There's I think about 800,000 that apply, about 790,000 actually got it. But yeah, this kids went through a vetting process, right? One of the requirements for you not to have a criminal record, you know,
Right.
Misdemeanors, I think is violent misdemeanors, I think they call it, or anything like that. Right, so they went to a vetting process. They got approved, and most of them, I think, is about 50% are actually going to college, or maybe it might be a little bit higher than that. Mm-hmm. And also the requirements. Some of the requirements are also for these individuals to be enrolled in either high school or have gotten a GED or high school diploma. You know, so there's, you know.
Yeah. They got some requirements there. It's not, like you say, it's not easy, you know, and they got like a $495 fee for the application. I mean, you know, that's $500, you know, that you got to renew.
You might get a chance to come back and say you're not approved. You got to reapply again, you know.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Each time, you know, so that's not an easy path, but I think that, you know, with the administration that's coming in and with this new guy, Alejandro, I think they're going to really push it because he was like a deputy you know, deputy secretary for a little while. He's not a rookie, you know what I mean? He knows a little bit of the game. And so now that he's got the seat, you know, he can actually roll back some of those policies, man, because that, you know, that separation policy they had, child separation policy, that was awful, man. I just thought that was just the most inhumane thing they could have been doing, you know?
Some of the facts that I want to point out is that there's about 90, I think maybe about 99% of the dreamers that apply are from Latin America, but 73% are from Mexico. Obviously, Mexico being next door to us, a lot of easier access in a way, but 99% or close to that are from Latin America. About 2% are either from Korea, it includes Korea,
yeah, Cuba. You got some folks from there.
Yeah, but most of them from Latin American countries. That's right. So I think that plays a big role on the way they handle this. I can't say that. You know, that's my take on that. You know what I'm going to do.
I think you're right, because you know when you think about it, the Latinx vote and the black vote is really what flipped everything, you know, and they thinking about those numbers, you know, and the numbers are constantly changing.
You know, like I was thinking yesterday, if Obama would have make it a law for them, maybe in a couple of years, nothing happens, you can apply to become a legal resident, we'll get you to be if you want to become a citizen, or get you to pass citizenship, let's say by 2017, let's say it took that long. In 2018, they would have been able to vote. You know, in 2020, they would have at least about 600,000 individuals that
brand new voters.
And I think most of them are geared towards Democrat. You know, so if you figure out of those 600,000, half of it will vote. Let's say, you know, 300,000. Out of that, you got 75% that would have gone Democrat. That's 225,000 votes that would have gone the Republican side. Think about the Senate.
Could have been a big difference. That could have made a big difference. Definitely.
So I'm thinking, I mean, that's my own kind of thoughts. I'm thinking that probably played another critical role in making it difficult for individuals. Now, even if you apply to become a U.S. resident, you know, it's not that simple. No matter what people tell you, some people get amazed and say, you've been here for 20 years, you couldn't get your papers, you know, legal. You couldn't become a citizen. But the path, like you were mentioning, the path is so difficult. I had this one lady who actually owns a business. She's Mexican, but she became a citizen here. She married an individual who was illegal. So they applied. They tried to go the route. They applied, and they ended up asking them to go back to Mexico. And I don't know how long it's going to take. He's been there for a couple of years already. So the family's going back and forth. They got a couple of kids.
Wow.
U.S. citizen. So that path, I think at one time somebody mentioned, if you're a Mexican citizen, if you apply to become legal here, it can take you up to 10 years.
Yeah. Wow. And that's crazy. You know, you think about all the stuff that's been going on with the unemployment and the food, lack of food in a lot of households. Then you think about all of those immigrants that's here helping those farm workers that we have, you know, people that's starting businesses like this lady, you know, they're actually contributing to the economy. They're more needed now than ever before. And especially some of those companies like the ones that you work with, those construction companies that's developing in the community, building up the community, hiring, they're employing all kinds of people.
No, exactly. You know, and unfortunately, we had a president that came out with this, you know, try to get in people's minds and talk about a certain group of Hispanics being criminals, being rapists, and you know, those kind of things, and try to portray a bad image just because, every single group of people have bad apples.
Everybody.
No matter what it is, right?
No matter what.
Bad people out there, right? But just to create this picture that is bad for, you know, if you don't know about Hispanics, if you never dealt with them in this case, right? What are you going to think? You're going to maybe believe this individual's right. He's the president of the United States. You know, you're going to maybe believe him what he says.
They're going to believe him, right? Right. They're going to believe him. That's exactly what happened.
You know, like I was reading that in Florida and, you know, certain places, there's a lot of people that voted for the re-election of President Trump. And people wonder how come you're Hispanic insulted you, but there's, Hispanics are so diverse. We got white Hispanics, European descent Hispanics. If you go to Argentina, there's a lot of Italian descent. If you go to Chile, you got some that are from Germany, because when 1940 to World War II, the Germans went to South America. They went to jungles of Brazil. My country from Ecuador, we got a mix of, we got obviously Spaniards descent. We also got Arabic, Middle Eastern, Oriental. If you go to Japan, there's a lot of Japanese descent. So there's a big mix.
That's a big dichotomy of people.
Yeah, so there's difference between ourselves. There's some African descent in my country. We got a couple of cities that are African descent.
Yeah, Brazil. Yeah.
The national team from Ecuador, was all blacks. They were asking because there are whites in Ecuador. Yeah, there is, but there's other. So we're a mix of everything. And
there's a lot of wealthy people too.
Exactly.
A lot of wealthy people.
I got family out there that never occurred to come to the United States. Say, I'll go visit. I'll go over there and go visit you guys. But they're fine in the country. But yeah. So there's we're mixed. We're different, and we kind of separate ourselves regionally. Even in my country, we got 3 regions. We got the Andes. That's where the capital. That's where I'm from. There's another group that is from the coast, another group from kind of the jungle side, kind of the east side. East side of the country. But we're all different groups. We are trying to, sort of separate ourselves. We're all different way of thinking, maybe where we came from, So when you talk about the whole Latin American, you try to maybe it's not a coerced group that is going to go one way. People are going to go different way. And they were talking about the people that voted for Trump. They were the idea that
people in Nevada, people in Florida, people in Nevada,
So they were thinking, okay, I came from Cuba, I came from El Salvador, I came from Nicaragua, perhaps, I came from Venezuela. I don't want the same. They experience bad situations out there.
Yeah.
So the guy that is, if you let this guy, he's going to be a socialist. You're going to go back to the same way that you came from, that you flew from, or you ran away from, or escaped from.
True.
So those kind of things, and that's what they decided to vote. Another something else that they talk about is the president being sort of a macho president. That he don't back away from anything. So that's maybe we're seeing a group of Hispanic males like that. So they voted for him. So that's what I think you see the Florida, the big numbers and everything.
Well, Juan, I want to thank you so much, man, for coming on the show. And, I got some time coming up in the studio, man.
Okay, cool.
And I'm gonna definitely try to get you back. I know you've been busy. What you got going on for 2021? What you got going on, man?
I haven't really given a big thought, honestly. Just continue to do what I'm doing. What I like to do is just help assist companies, and I've been doing that for the last 12 years. Been teaching for 20 years, and I never thought I'd be in teaching, but somebody gave me an opportunity, and I enjoy that. I sometimes it's tiring because I got a full-time job and do something else on the side, but I enjoy that. So I want to continue to do that. I want to continue to help companies grow, sustain and grow. Just be able to be competitive out there. One of the things that I feel we as minorities might start on the same line, but we quickly can get behind. Not because of lack of capabilities, it's just because that's the way it is. I think a lot of times when you're Hispanic, they look at you as the laborer, not the entrepreneur.
Right, that's true. It's a stereotype that needs to be broken.
That happens a lot to African Americans too. So we gotta to change that. It might not be that easy, but at the same time, we gotta make sure that we just do. Like I encourage a lot of our members or individuals that went into construction, make sure you got everything in place. Make sure you got your insurance.
How have you been able to influence some of those companies during this COVID with all of the new protocols in place with the mask and the hand washing? And the social distancing and all that stuff. How has that affected some of the businesses? Because that's another cost that, you know,
Yeah,
folks
it is.
think about.
It is. You know, we tell them they just gotta follow the requirements. You know, it's a lot of times you try to save money maybe on buying a mask or getting masks for your employees, and then something else might happen that you know, you can get fined. You know, fine, say it could be a couple of $1,000s, and the mask costs you maybe $20 or something like that. So we encourage them to stay in compliance with things. You know, it might be additional cost, but it might be a short-term additional cost, but in the long term, it can help. And a lot of the general contractors are demanding from you to follow the procedures. They don't want to get in trouble themselves.
Yeah.
If you don't compete that way, you're not going to be able to compete the way you want to compete.
Yeah, because I know the restaurants are really having a hard time right now. You know, they can't do anything indoors because of the virus. So they're trying to, you know, make that adjustment to the outdoor patio thing.
Sure, yeah.
And, you know, if the clientele is not coming in, man, you know, how they going to pay the rent there? I mean, it's tough.
Oh, it's hard. It's difficult, you know. And yeah, we encourage them to follow the procedures out there. You know, the same thing. If they ask you to get insurance, you gotta get insurance. If you need bonding, apply for bonding, those kind of things. And yeah, it might be difficult, but and like nowadays when things are getting this stuff, I always tell people, look, companies are going to do business with people they like. When there's work is diminishing, they're going to look for somebody they can rely on. And
Yeah.
you want to be, you know, if you want to be there for them to make that call for you.
Yeah.
If there's a man on the work, they may just hire whoever comes at the door knocking. You know,
they got to be nimble. You got to be nimble now, you know,
yeah.
like what we're doing. You know, you got to be able to get on the internet. I mean, some of the payment systems are, you know, virtual now, you know, so you got to be able to make that adjustment in order to stay competitive.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we're not asking you to spend $50,000 on a new software system. It's not bad, you know. You can get Zoom, you know, it's free sometimes for half an hour. And, you know, I mean, it might cost you about $100 a month or so, $150 a month. But what can that do for your business? Nowadays, there's that technology with the phones.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, you can communicate, you can do, you know, if I go back and say, Harry, I got a problem with this wall, you know, take a look at it. I can just do a live chat with you, you know.
Exactly.
You can either go on the phone or go on Facebook or do Zoom. You know, those can be done right away. So you don't need to drive to play it to say. Yeah, I mean,
you're right.
Stay competitive that way, you know, just, you know, I was encouraged to apply for a line of credit, you know, even if you don't need it.
Yeah, and the PPP program for small businesses, that was something that didn't quite make it to all of the smaller business like it should have. But, you know, I got a feeling they're going to bring that back around because it wasn't really distributed fairly. And, you know, some people had a little trouble navigating the application process.
Yeah, you know, I don't think it was that complicated, but at the same time, it was complicated for some individuals.
Yeah.
A lot of times, smaller companies, maybe not speaking for every single one of them, they don't have their
all the paperwork that they need, all of the documents, the bank statements, the credit apps, the relationship with the bank. They have to show, all the suppliers and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's like show documents. The documents were basically show me what you've done in the last 6 months, you know, and you know, how much money do you need, kind of a thing, right? And you got to show proof. Here's my payroll.
If they'd have been paying attention in your class and doing all the stuff you was telling them to do, they'd have got that line of credit, no problem. And some of that stuff is going to be forgiven too. So it's good to pay attention in class, right?
No, I got a couple of firms that are, you know, they're more on they understand all those things, right? They understand they got to run the business a certain way because they also deal with state agencies that require them to do so. And I remember talking to a couple of them, like maybe about a week after that, and they were telling me, we got it, you know, just got the money and, you know, we're happy. One of the individuals told me that his SBA loan might be forgiven as well. You know, they're doing this kind of thing. So he was really happy, but he does what he needs to do. You know, got an accountant that, you know, help him out putting all the things together. When the bank, he had a relationship with the bank.
Well, yeah. See, I remember those classes, and you always stressed it. You got to build those things. It's better to do it up front. It's better to start off doing it than to wait and then have to scramble around to try to do it, because you see what happens.
Yeah, that's like I tell them, I'm not asking you to hire a lawyer, but you need a lawyer, especially with new contracts. Just have a look at, are you a lawyer? No. Are you an accountant? No. You're a contractor. You know how to put a wall together. Those kind of things. That's the thing you got to concentrate and get your support system. An attorney may charge you $200, $300 for reading a document, maybe $500, but that can help you. Talk about liability. Just if you might be signing something that says you might have to do the work for 50% of the cost that is listed at the contract.
That's right.
You're liable for something happens, you're liable for this or that, those kind of things. So we do that all the time where I work. A new contract comes in, we send it to an attorney.
Yeah.
Because we're not attorneys, we're we do something else. So, yeah.
Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
This is Juan Calahoranno on the McGraw Report. This is Harry McGraw signing off. Thank you so much, my friend, for coming on, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you. Have a good week.
All right. Take care, my friend. Bye-bye.